Hello everyone, welcome to our brand new save for FM24. So, this is just going to be our beta save for the year. This is going to be with Union Berlin. So I hope you guys are excited for it because it's going to be an amazing one. But I first want to start talking about some different things about the club and some other things like that. So we're first going to have a little history lesson written by one of my fantastic friends, Max, who he does have a channel if you guys want to see some of his old amazing COD clips. Will be linked in the description below so you guys can check that out. But we're going to first discuss that, and then we're going to go through the team, watch a friendly, and play through it against Hamburg, and get a little affiliated, connected, and see what we're working with for this season. So, hope you guys enjoy our little history lesson, and I'll see you guys afterwards. So, Union Berlin, an amazing club with awesome history, and I've put together a little thing with the help of my fantastic friend Max, who will have his channel linked below. We've put together a history lesson and information on the side, their history, as well as some interesting facts about their fans and some other amazing things about the side. So hope you guys enjoy our little lesson and just a little bit about the team that we will be playing with for this FM23 early access. So the club itself was allegedly founded in 1961 by Herbert Vanker. He was the chairman of the state-controlled National Trade Union and a member of the SED Party, which were the Socialist United Party of East Germany. The club was established in the middle of one of the largest industrial centers in the East, and the most important positions on the board were exclusively held by directors of the state-owned factories or SED representatives. The club was actually state-funded, and all decisions had to be reported to the DTSB, better known as the Deutscher Turn- and Sportbund Mast Sport Organization, which actually had around 4 million members, which amounted to nearly 20% of the DDR's total population, which is crazy to think. But this kind of shows you how much of a collective sport view that East Germany had at the time. So Union actually had some serious success in the before the 90s, from around the 1960s to the 1990s, where they managed to win various DDR Liga titles, as well as even winning the last one before reunification occurred in Germany. So after the political collapse of the DDR in 1991, Union suffered pretty harshly financially, ended up kind of going up and down the divisions, where they really just struggled to settle and find a spot for themselves. They were even denied promotion multiple times due to financial instability. Pretty much what happened was the free market destroyed many clubs that had been around since the 1990s. There were several cases where they'd been completely and utterly run just by poor bad management on that end, but at the same time it really wasn't too fair to immediately be pushed into a style of business that was totally alien and totally separate from anything these clubs had dealt with before. And in essence, they got cheated out of players by buying players for way too much money, selling players for way too little money, and just totally not having a very good enough idea of what occurred. But on top of that, the merging of the Eastern and Western divisions was totally biased. The Western teams were heavily favored, and in 1991, when the two leagues were still separate, there was 18 teams in the Bundesliga, which is the West German league at the time, and there was 14 in the Oberliga, which was the East German league. Instead of those leagues just merging and creating one, taking the best, say, 7 or from the East and the best 9 from the West, or something along those lines to create the league they wanted to, they straight up just took 18 teams from the West and 2 from the East, and then sprinkled all the rest of the Eastern clubs around the various different leagues. And most of the teams were relegated to the second and third divisions, which really was quite unfair because some of these teams were really, really good and could have easily competed, but they were in the second tier, and then their players got bought by first-tier clubs, and it really just sunk a lot of the Eastern teams. Now, Union themselves were dumped into what is now the current 3 Liga, or the third tier at the time. The team did actually even manage to get up to the second tier in 2001. So about 9 years after unification, they got up to the second tier and even made the DFB Pokal semi-final that year. Made the final that year and actually lost in it, which is pretty crazy to think. But only a few seasons later, in 2004-2005, they ended up getting relegated to the 4th tier after a back-to-back relegations, which is kind of insane to think after doing so well. But the team managed to win automatic promotion that next season, sending them right back up into the 3rd tier. and then only 3 years later in 2008-2009 managed to get into the second division. From that point on, it took them about 10 years to get to the actual Bundesliga, when in 2018-2019 season they made it in there for the first time. So in their first ever season in the Bundesliga, the team finished 11th, which is pretty impressive for a team coming up. It's not too common that these teams really fly up in the Bundesliga, so it was a pretty big achievement for them. Then in their second season, they did probably a lot better than almost any other team could have ever expected. So they finished 7th. And the craziest thing about this, of finishing 7th, was they got the Conference League. And it all came where, in pretty much amazing fashion on May 22nd, when Max Kruse confirmed their European campaign in the 92nd minute of the match. So the last game, last minute, 92nd minute match winner for Max Kruse, which ended them in 7th place, meant they qualified for the Europa Conference League, which is awesome. The following season, they finished 5th, did even better again, and managed to get Europa League. And then this season, which is the past season, the season before this, they finished in 4th and got the Champions League, which is insane. The team just kept moving upwards and upwards and upwards and doing better and better and better, just continuing to show how good they've been on this run since coming up from the 4th tier all those years ago. So they've just been on this amazing, amazing run, and hopefully we can keep continuing it. Now, one of the coolest things about this team are their stadium and the fans. And the stadium itself is called Stadion an der Alten Forsterei. So it translates to the Stadium of the Old Forester. The stadium itself is beautiful and stunning, and you can even see that I went there by the picture on the screen at the time. I got to see the stadium. It is awesome. So the stadium sits in an enclave of trees and walkways, but you pretty much walk down to get to it. It's really cool. You walk a little along a river, there's trees and stuff. You really feel like you're kind of hidden in this thing, and then all of a sudden a stadium appears around you, and it's so cool to witness. And it really, it does seem hidden and tucked away. But in the middle of 2008, the club needed to modernize, but really had no money to do so since they were still low down in the division. So around 2,000 supporters of the club donated nearly 140,000 hours of their own labor to create the largest football-specific stadium in Berlin. The stadium went up to open on July 2nd, 2013, and was actually celebrated with a friendly against Celtic. So in another amazing feat of fan support, they managed to raise money through blood drive donations to make sure the team could secure a license to retain their spot in the 4th tier in the 2004 season, which is when they got relegated after those back-to-back years. The fans ended up donating their blood, receiving money from the hospital for the donations, and then gave all those donations to the club so they'd be able to pay for the license. The level of the team is just so incredibly strong. There was even a film made about them back in 2014, which was called Union fürs Leben, which I butchered that, I bet, which is called Union for Life. The main supporter section is called Schlosserjungs, which are the metalworker boys, and they can even readily be seen displaying elaborate tifos and awesome things like that, which you can see. There's a few that I'm sure put in this already, but they're amazing tifos, chanting. They sing tons and tons of things. Awesome. They're so cool to witness, and they've really been amazing. And if you've seen the Champions League games at all, where they've played this season, the fans are so there. They're in pack. They're singing. They're chanting. They got everything going. It's an awesome thing to see. But they are also rallied by the club mascot, Rita Kuhl, who is the Cudgel the Knight is his name. And you can see him on screen now. He is awesome. He's so cool looking. I love him with his little, mace chain. I don't know what you would call that thing, but it's so cool. And he's so awesome, and I love it. The team is amazing, and they're so cool. Their fan support and their love for them is just something else. It's on another level. And I'm so excited to take charge and see if we can do one better and finish in the top 3 for the first time ever. It would be awesome if we can get out of the Champions League group as well, but just being able to do that and just doing one better would be awesome. So I'm going to pass it on to myself, who's going to run you through our tactics, our team, and a friendly against Hamburg. Okay, guys, so we have now gotten through the history lesson and are now time to talk a little about our tactics, our system for this year, what we're looking to do, as well as the players that are going to be coming into this season, since we have done a real-world save. So this one is going to be all the real-life transfers. Unfortunately, the Champions League group stage will be a little different, but everything else is going to be the same, so that's pretty sweet, and I'm excited for that. Now, I think first and foremost, we will talk a little bit about some of just the facts for this season, which are that we will not be playing in our own stadium. So for the Champions League, we're actually going to be having to play in our bitter rivals Hertha Berlin Stadium, which is the Olympiastadion. We play in, where does it say our stadium? We play here. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because it's terrible, but we're going to be playing here. Unfortunately, we cannot actually play the Champions League here, so we will be having to play it at Hertha's Stadium. Come on. Which, where would that be? Overview facilities. Which will be the Olympiastadion. So we're going to be playing here. It doesn't say that we'll play here, but we're going to be playing here for this season. So that's a quick little heads up. Just something that's going to happen. Sucks, but that's why we are expanding our stadium. Now, the team itself, last season, Union finished in 4th place. They were doing really, really well. They finished really high up the league. They were actually in 1st place for a little bit and came super close to actually winning something, but in the end kind of fell off towards the end and ended up finishing 4th. Now, with that being said, we want to build on this year. The board, Club's Vision, has set us with a thing of finishing in the top half, which is going to be pretty tough. Now, we also will have Champions League, which is going to give us more games, and we're going to need a bit of a larger squad for it. But with that, it's going to be fantastic. We're in the Champions League. We're going to get a lot of revenue, a lot of things that really make a big difference. So to deal with that, we're going to continue a bit of Orosz Fischer's defensive first style, but also adopt a little more of the front foot style that I kind of like to play at times, where it's a little more attacking. So to do that, we are going to be playing a 3-5-2. I've called it a 5-3-2 because it's kind of more so what it is, but that's what we're going to be playing. So to give you guys an idea, we're going to have a sweeper keeper and run out. We are going to play a lower defensive line. But even though I want a lower defensive line, I want Kanaka to not be a cover. So I want Run Out to be the one that covers up the space and behind. Now, that's why maybe a little thing at first. But with that being said, we want the ball to start from the back with Run Out. We want Run Out to give it off to one of the center backs here in Kanaka before we transition the ball wide to Trimmel or to Gosens, who is going to be joining us soon enough. Once that goes to them, I want these guys to run down the line. Trimmel or Gosens goes down. Haber to come forwards, Barons to kind of drop off a little bit, Krau to move into some spaces here, to start to move into Haber's space, and then they cross it into Barons, who's in the box, or get in behind to Becker. Well, that's pretty much it. That's how we attack. How we defend is, these guys drop in and help defend. He tries to win it in the middle here. Haber will press and kind of help us try to win the ball if it's in this space, and Tussart will kind of slide side to side and win it there. Now, Kadira is going to be playing in this role when he's back fit again. But that's in essence kind of it. It's not a too insanely crazy of a tactic. It's pretty structured in terms of the way we play. We want to utilize our set pieces, pass the ball into space, be more direct. Sorry, I forgot to have play on defense selected, so we play to these guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's nothing crazy, nothing insane. But it's going to be really big that we work on a lot of things like our defensive structure and other things like that this year. So the main things we're going to really be looking for, especially in some of these guys, are can we have these center backs help out and assist, and ensuring that they're able to deal with build up and possession, as well as stepping really hard, because when these guys get forwards and are attacking into these spaces here, we're going to have some openings out wide. So we have wide center backs to help cover, but also we're going to have them be really aggressive. So we've closed down more and marked tighter to really step hard and be aggressive to stop those counterattacks and allow our other players to get back, which is going to be a really massive thing for us this season. On top of that, we are fantastic in the air. You can look at Doki with 16 heading, Leita with 14, Kanaka has 14, Yakel is going to be really good up there, 14 as well. So we have some really strong headers of the ball, meaning that we're going to look to force the opposition wide and trap them outside so that if they cross, it's fine. Happy dandy. We don't care at all because they've crossed into massive players that are going to make sure that we win the ball. Oops, sorry. On top of that, we want wingbacks that are going to be hustling and working their butts up. So we 16 work rate. Trimmel is going to get up and down, up and down. Juranovic, has 13 work rate, which he can improve on, but he's got 15 stamina to keep going up and down, up and down. We've got Rallison, however you say his name, 12 work rate, needs to improve a little bit, but he isn't going to be the #1 player, as we do have Gosens coming in, which it doesn't see here, but 16 to 20 work rate. I mean, come on, stamina 15 to 19. Just going to work his ass off again and again and again. And that's what we want to see from some of these guys here, the really high work rates. Now, especially the center mid, we need the same thing. High stamina, high work rate. So we've got it in Haberer. We've got it in Schaefer, who's going to be the backup. 15, 16 for there. And on top of that, we have Aronson as well, 17, 16. So it's going to be really big. We want them to be a little bit like a box-to-box, but we do want them to help out slightly more defensively, which is why I've selected the center mid role. Now, ball winner. This guy's job is going to be to help win the ball, get it, and just be able to help transition us back to offense, but also help out a little bit in attack. So that, again, we want high stamina, high work rate. Again, it's the same kind of thing we want. Like, you look at Leyduni, he's got his all stamina, work rate. It is all about being really hard-worked, hard-nosed, just run to your fucking, like, cannot run anymore kind of team right now. Again, the target forward, not as much. We don't have to worry about that, but still, same exact thing. Really strong, really good in the air, and a great work rate is what we want to see from him. On top of that, with Becker, doesn't have the largest work rate, but he's absolutely rapid. So when we want that ball up top, we know he's going to burn by people. And that's what we're looking for with those guys. I mean, we look at Fofana, right? Fofana, again, super fast. He's going to be fantastic up top, just running in behind, not being able to be caught. We also have Voland coming in, who's going to be a very similar player. Just doesn't stop moving, doesn't stop running. Stamina, work rate, again, same thing. May not be the fastest, but he's going to be so hard to track, so hard to get, because he's just going to keep moving. So that's kind of the thing. We also have another player in Kaufman here, who's going to be our backup for Behrens as a target forward. So, gives him good bravery. He's tall. He's not strong enough, but it's good to work rate and things. And that's the thing, is just making sure we work hard, fight till the bitter end of games. That's the biggest thing with this team, is just fighting and doing everything we can to just not let it go. It's why also we have the trigger press more often, because I want them to keep going, and we have the high tempo, because it's just hard work, constant hard work is what I want to see from these guys. Now, we are going to be a little pragmatic. I think we are going to adjust some things each game, maybe make someone more defensive, not on attack and stuff. So we will make things like that, maybe dropping to cover at times and support. So things like that will change game to game, I have no doubt, because of who we play. But overall, this is going to be the main shape I want to go with. On top of that, we do have an attacking version, which is this, where Toussaint would jump up here. Obviously, we just swap him with one of these guys or with this guy, and just that's how it'd be there. These guys become more attacking, they're more aggressive as well, and it just hopefully gets us a few more attacking opportunities. And then finally, the super duper defending version, which is this one here, where we would it's all out defend. So that's pretty much how that works, and that's kind of it. That's what the all-out defend version is going to be. It's just sit everyone behind the ball and defend to the best of our abilities. So that's kind of what that is, to give you an idea of how it looks on the pitch. With this, it's very solid. You get a lot of comfortability, a lot of control, which is nice to see. Obviously, we don't need to worry too much about that, because we're going to be attacking down the wings, so that's okay. But yeah, it's definitely going to be really good. I'm really happy with what I think this will offer, and we'll get to see it in action in our first game against Hamburg. Now, with that being said, for this season, the key players, I think, for me, are going to be someone like Behrens. He's going to be really big to helping us score goals and stuff like that, because he's going to be super important, being a main target for us on most of our crosses. On top of that, the back line and winning headers and winning the ball off set pieces, another really, really important thing for us, as well as the wing backs. They're going to be massive for us in terms of these positions. Now, this is the only thing that I think I'm slightly unsure about, is making this a wingback on attack or on support. Because on support, they then won't cross from the byline. And I don't really want them crossing from the byline. I want them crossing earlier. So maybe this change will make a difference. We'll see. I think I might stick with support for now and see how it goes, and then maybe change them to attack if need be. Or we could do is make them automatic. Because then, with that happening, then we can deal with it. We do want them to get further forward, so I'll just adjust that. I think I'm going to do automatic, because then I have a much better control over saying, hey, I want you guys to do this, then attacking, boom, they then go on attack, support. So I think actually we'll do that instead. make it a lot better for what we want to see from them. So that's wonderful. But with that being said, there isn't too much more to go over team-wise with some of those key players. Obviously, Khedira is otherwise probably our best player on the team. He's really, really good, so he's in that main defensive midfielder spot. I want him on defense. I know it kind of takes away a bit of his first touch, but I think it's important that we have him do more of a defensive job in there. Just kind of working and defending a lot more, because as much as I do want Krell to help out, I'd rather him kind of be more ball winner, just kind of around here while he can get the ball and do a little more with it. So I just think that works a little better for us. I'd rather Khedira be at the base, similar like Tussart as well, be at the base in this situation over a little higher up. So just kind of what I'd rather in that sense. But yeah, that's kind of how we have it set up there. Now we do have all the set pieces set up as well, just to give you guys an idea. Corners, so on attacking corners we have a short corner, we have a far post, and we have a near post corner as well. So a few different routines to work out with the side as well. So a few different setups that we can deal with things there. We also got some free kicks and stuff like that. We've got some wide ones, we've got some near post and far post ones out wide. We have short free kicks that are deep as well. So we have a few different things there. Attacking third, also we're going to go short so we can try to work it into the box a little more, since we don't really have any good long throw takers. But yeah, so some very different things here in terms of different opportunities and capabilities with the team. But that's pretty much what I'm thinking in terms of how we're going to play and what we're going to set up with the tactic there. Now, if you guys want a little more of a breakdown of the tactic, let me know. I'm happy to do that. But I think the next thing we'll talk about are the players coming in. I've already attempted to hire a lot of staff, so we'll see when they come in. But we have Schwolo coming in. He's going to be our backup goalkeeper. He's not going to be a starter, but he will be the backup for us and will hopefully look to make a big difference in terms of being a suitable backup that we can play some other games, give Run out a rest at times. Everyone knows him. Leonardo Bonucci is going to be a ball-playing center back. He can be fantastic and really look to help us out in the middle of the pitch, which will be wonderful, as I think it'll make a pretty big difference having him back there at times. So that's going to be fantastic. Obviously, Robin Gosens, we mentioned it before. Incredible, incredible footballer. Just an elite, elite wingback. And that can really make a big difference. On top of that, Kevin Volland up top. He'll probably advance forward in the role that Becker has. And, I mean, there's loads of really good mentals and physicals still on him. Technicals, he's got some really good important technicals. But hopefully the other stuff can help out as well. Benedict Olerbach as well coming in, but he's a young player with more potential, so he probably won't play much. But yeah, just a player with some potential that could be a useful one in the future. Players that are leaving, so these are the real life transfers. Jordan Siebatschou is going to be leaving to Gladbach on loan. Tim Skarka is going to be joining Darmstadt on loan. Milos Pantovic is actually just leaving to Eupen on a free. Martin Torsby, who I'm really sad about because I would have loved to have him in the team, is going out on loan. And Dominik Heinz is leaving to be a center back at Cologne, which he would be fantastic for me right now, which really does suck. And Mathis Burns is leaving as well. Now, speaking of Heinz leaving, we are going to be missing a center back, and I do really need another one. So I have sent a scouting out to find someone here. Who they've given us a player here, but I've also decided to send out a scout to try to find a left center back that can help us out. Obviously, we have a no transfer budget as we've made it, so there's no signings that can be made in this window, and we'll make some for January. But it means we do have a signing at least one player that we are going to be making in January, which I think will be a left center back to give Leita some backup as well as some rest when need be, since I think it'll be a little difficult at times. But yeah, that's in essence what we're looking to do and how we're looking to play and do things with the team. Now, with that being said, I think it's probably time just to get into the first game against Hamburg. So, not not a lot of players on the bench. Where is he? Here he is, which will give us a full starting 11. Now let's see if there's some players from the U19s that we can get. So we need a left wing back. We need another goalkeeper. Here we go. We do need another center back, who, which I think, where is he? Heinz can provide that for right now. We need another striker, which I guess Sibachu can do enough for. He can help us out in that way. And then finally we need a left wing back, which I don't know if we actually have. He's out on loan, unfortunately. It doesn't look like we have anyone else that can really play it. Can any of these guys play it? Let's see. No. No. No, unfortunately not. There isn't many players that can really play there. Says Torsby is the next best one. Actually, well, Endo can kind of play there in the end, so I think we'll have Endo assist in that, and then I'll stick Torsby on the bench as I do love him. All right, lovely. So we have full bench, people that are able to play, and we're going to get into the match. It's a little weird for me playing on the old, the original skin now, because I'm used to having things differently and looking different ways. So it's just a little difficult at times because I'm not used to it being this, looking like this, and I'm getting confused where some things are. I mean, the game already looks so much better. It's insane. Just the way the stadium looks is fantastic. Decent enough side from them. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to fix these. I'll probably do this on my own, but well, I like the white. That's really great. Again, this is also my first time really seeing this as well. Pretty drab so far. Nothing really happening in the game. A set piece for Hamburg here. Swung in. Headed up and cleared. Player at the top of the box, who's just been allowed to run completely back in. Oh my god. Absolutely horrendous defending from us here. Comes out and everyone just lets him run. Let's go more attacking. See if this makes a difference. Oh boy. Come on, guys. Corner again for them here. Good tracking. But we can't really seem to get anything going. Which is really quite unfortunate. So maybe what we'll do is we'll tighten up the passing a bit. We'll not try to play out of defense. We'll take this away. Go with that for now. Well, unfortunately, I think it might be another issue this year of you can't really sit deep because your team just doesn't maintain possession. You can't really maintain things very well. Well, that is annoying. make a little changes here. So we'll go make him a box-to-box midfielder. Him on the attack. We'll make you a halfback for now. That stuff is fine in terms of that. That's into pace play for set pieces. Yep. Just go fairly wide. Tighten it up a little bit. That's good. We'll bring that up more. Standard mid-block. Get stuck in. Trap outside. See if that doesn't make any difference. So actually, no, we'll go defensive midfielder on support. Oh, wait. Substitutions. That's, you know, kind of another big thing you can do in friendlies. We'll go Kaufman. Not the goalkeeper. That would be pretty funny if we did. Haber, Schaefer, Lyduni will go for Krau. Toussaint, we don't really have anyone. Trimmel will have Juranovic come on. Jakel can come on for Doki. In goal as well. Yeah, that's enough subs. We'll do that, which will be fine. Hopefully that makes a difference. Well, we have more possession, but still not even a shot, which is not great. Not great at all. There we go. Finally a shot. Take off play for set pieces. Turn that back on. Have us run at the defenders a bit more. Counter press. Bring it more aggressive. See if that does anything as well. I don't mind committing fouls. It's not a big issue for me. Jeez. I don't know if it's just preseason, but this is kind of ridiculous. We have not even got a shot off. Sure. We've got one shot off on target. We held them to 3 shots, though, which is the thing. Like, they haven't even got a shot off. They didn't in the second half. So, that's really annoying, because just nothing going for them. So, looks like we have some stuff to work on for sure in terms of the team. Some things to improve on, no doubt there. Little annoying though, the way that nothing really just kind of worked for them. But I will make some changes, work on some things, and we'll hopefully have a much better tactic for the next set of fixtures. But the first game of the season, we will be facing off against a DFB Pokal opponent, which we do not know of, as well as Mainz in the first Bundesliga game in the season. So be sure to tune in for episode 2, where we take on our 2 opponents in that, and hopefully can start the season off better than a 1-0 loss to Hamburg in a friendly. Thank you again for watching, everyone. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.